Good. Okay, y'all. So, hi everybody. It is actually, um, why is this dude just standing there? That's kind of weird. And I say weird. Come on, come on. We're going this way. I know you want to go to the park. Come on, let's go. Yeah, I'm turning back around because, um, it's summertime, and sometimes these people are kind of weird. It's usually very quiet, out here because, yeah, Fort Wayne's just not really popping like that unless some kind of festival is going on. We already had most of our festivals already. Um, and another thing, it's usually quiet because all the people that are hanging out and doing crazy stuff that's not working, not getting money, um, they got to go in for the most part if they want to go into the shelter. Okay, and so, um, yeah, that's basically what it is. Um, so anywho, yeah, he never left. He's just standing on the corner. It was a guy standing on the corner, and he saw me leaving out of my place, and he was just sitting there. And I'm thinking that he's like talking to somebody on the phone, but then I noticed that he's moving his camera. Like I go across the street, he's moving his camera towards the same way that I was moving. So I was like, oh, okay, don't want to feel like I'm, being anxious or anything like that. But at the same time, you don't want to be a fool, especially down here. Um, a lot of the people that I work with, and a lot of people that I not only work with, but a lot of the people that I know uh, from my workplace know that I live very close and they know where I live. So I have to be very careful because people pop up, not only the clients, but some of the workers, and I don't play that. Like, we can be cool over talking and everything, but I just don't play that. I don't play those games. If I didn't invite you to my house, don't show it to my house. Don't, because you would definitely be out. You would get the buzzer tone. You would not be able to come in. You no, it's not gonna happen. We're not gonna play that dumb game. And so, yeah, that's why I turned around. But that's not the reason why I made this video. I'm making this video because for one, I want to stay current, and for two, I want you guys to understand this. I have learned this more than ever now that the enemy, the enemy will try to use every tactic in the book to bring you down, to slash on you, to do just about any and everything to you. And you have to be very, I won't say creative, but you have to use discernment. I really had to learn what discernment is and how to properly use it. And so, um, yeah, because of that, it saved me a lot of injury. It saved me a lot of harm. Um, and it has helped me not only in my spiritual walk, but in my everything else out of it, my work life, my personal life. There are some people who act like they love you and care for you, and they hate your guts. Okay, some of these people that grew up with you hate your guts. Some people don't want you. They see that you're becoming more successful than them, and it grinds their gears. Okay, it grinds their gears. So you really want to be aware of that. You want to be aware of that, and that discernment, and uh, not telling everything at one time is going to help you. It's going to help you in the long run. Um, so I'm going to give you this story, but I can't really tell you all of it. But I'm going to give you enough so you can understand. So I started working at the newer shelter, which is our largest shelter. It's actually, I think it's the largest one in Indiana, but I know it's the most expensive in Indiana. It's, up to date. Supposed to be state of the art. This shelter looks like a hotel, y'all. It just baffles me. But I mean, that's God's grace. It's great that that happened because a lot of people need it. Um, but a lot of things come with it. It just, you're like, some people take it for granted. They just assume because they don't really understand, you know, and seeing some real struggles. um, but I started working there, and okay, Chew. Excuse me, y'all. Once I started working there, um, I saw so many. Oh shoot, that stinks. I saw so many different changes. People wanted to categorize me. They wanted to put me in so many different. Um, come on, come on, Chew. They wanted to put me in so many different other groups. You know, I was supposed to be a person that was trying to get attention from men because I dress nice, or you know, I look attractive. I'm supposed to be trying to, you know, get attention from people. That was the first. No, at first I was so shy because I didn't say anything. I'm so shy, um, and very timid, which I wasn't. I just I'm a person that if I don't know you, why am I talking to you? If it doesn't have anything to do with work, I'll say hello, you know, be pleasant. But if it's nothing to do with work, then why am I talking to you? You know, we're here to work. You know, if we find something common goal, yeah, but all in all, I'm here to do a job, and that's what I'm gonna do. If we, you know, go further, that's cool. But for no, it's a job. Um, so y'all know I'm a direct person. So, um, yeah, first I was shy. Then I was, you know, very um, friendly and bubbly. And then um, I was a person that, you know, was very attractive and all this other stuff. What else? Then I was a person that was flirtatious. I had to be flirtatious because of what I was wearing. I had to have a sugar daddy because of what I had, the assets that they assumed or they saw me have. I had to have that because, you know, I can't afford that on this salary, or I just need to be under, or I need that job, and they can treat me any kind of way. Um, because I need the job. You know, that was the first thing. But then when they started finding out, like, oh no, you know, this isn't bothering her. This, or she can't handle the job because it's a whole bunch of males and they're gonna give you all this kind of attention. It's gonna be so crazy. But then when they found out that I had experience working in shelters, then all of that changed too. Um, and I never attacked. I never went back and tried to fight those claims. Um, if anything, I tried to add to it because I know. Come on, you don't want to go back in? Oh my goodness. Y'all, my dog is a trip. She does not want to walk, so we're gonna go back in and then I'm gonna come back out. But yeah, they just didn't want to experience. They had no reason to experience the truth either. They wanted to believe what they wanted to believe, and I didn't stop them. Like I said, if anything, I tried to promote it. I tried to promote it because I understand the power of envy. I know the power of envy and jealousy, okay? Um, and you can't, although I know that I'm not perfect, I'm nowhere near, I'm definitely working on myself. I understand that the power of jealousy and envy and how it can stop you from your goals, how other people's envy and jealousy can stop you from your goals, okay? Um, and I've had that firsthand. So I never stopped it. I never stopped it, anyone's belief or anything like that. If anything, like I said to it, I chuckled about it because I knew that that was going to add a little bit of lightheartedness to the people who I knew was right there with some of the culprits that were scheming on me. Hold on. Let's throw her back in, and then I'm going to come back out and then talk. Okay. Okay, so thank y'all for waiting. But anywho, I did not stop them. I let them say whatever they wanted to say. Um, I was supposed to be a hooker. I was supposed to be one of these people who was trying to hook up with the guys. That was one of the things. I needed some kind of sexual attention because I worked in the male facility versus working in the female facility. Um, yeah. I needed sexual attention because I was working in a male facility versus the female facility. But that was the facility that they gave me, the facility that they were offering at first, which like I said, I didn't mind, because I've worked in both sides, in a male and a female facility. I worked in a facility where it was co-ed, so it didn't bother me. It's a job and it's something that I love to do. But I didn't let that get to me. Like I said, I kept going, I kept moving. If anything, I laughed about it. I even joked about it because I know that um, kills some of the. Why is that car there? He's so weird. It kills some of the tension off. Okay. Yeah, we won't be on that shit. Yeah, it takes some of the tension off. So I was cool, I was cool with it. I was just like, whatever, because with that, and if someone has something to feed and they think that they have something to feed off of, especially if it's negative, because, people who fester or people who lurk, who look for drama, they try to feed and fester off of drama or toxic things and gossip. So while they're doing that, I'm turning myself over and I'm on a whole nother path. I'm trying to, get myself together, trying to get money, trying to, stay closer to God, most of all. Stay closer to God and go closer to the direction that I'm going into, which is, trying to attain this shelter, trying to get all these things together, trying to make those connections, you know. And so, what happened? Oh yeah, so I noticed that as I was doing this and I wasn't paying them no mind, no attention, more people started gravitating to me. They were just even gravitating to me more because um, I wasn't feeding into the lies. I wasn't feeding into, sucking everybody else or tapping onto everybody else, um, coattail, trying to, just gossip. It's just not me. I'm gonna keep going because I've already been through that and I've seen people do that to me and I know how it hurts. And so, yeah, so it was almost time for me. I ended up getting another job because in the same field. And the reason why I got another job in the same field is because I feel that when you go into a job, just like they have a 90-day probation with you, or a 6-month probation with you, or a 30-day probation, whatever it is. Usually the standard is 90 days, but sometimes people will do a 6-month, they'll do a 1 month, a 3 month, a 6 month, or a year evaluation. If it's a higher paying job, sometimes they'll do that whole year. They'll do a 30-day and then they'll do a year. But typical jobs is 90-day. And so how I feel about that is, see, how I feel about that is, when people do that, I go for myself, and I try to look for myself. Um, I try to look for myself something to do, So, um, yeah, I look for myself something to do. So, I said something to do. Let me get out of the way because that is a little weird. Just a little bit weird. They doing the most. They doing too much more. Little kids. But anyhow, I had to keep my eyes open because these people, they kids, some of these people just don't know what they doing. They do crazy stuff out here when they out, and they out like in the middle of the night. They do crazy, crazy stuff. And when I say crazy stuff, I mean shooting, stabbing for no reason. Like they could be the best of friends, and 10 seconds later, here, they could be squabble dabbling for no freaking apparent reason. I mean, that's everywhere, but you'll see more here. But anywho, back to what I was saying. Okay, I kept trying to get my money up. I kept trying to get everything up, and I ended up eventually getting another job somewhere else. okay, while I was working at this job. And the reason why I did that is because I saw early on in the beginning that this was a toxic job. Okay, this job was like, I loved what I did. I loved helping people, but I noticed that what they were doing is they would get people, they would tell them one thing, they would lie and tell them one thing, try to keep them there, try to keep, just keep them bound, say little crazy things like, oh yeah, well, you got to start from the bottom. They used to tell us that everyone has to start from this RCS role and all this other stuff. Come to find out that's not true. Um, because we had somebody else to start out in another role, so I knew that was a lie. Um, it was just a whole bunch of lies on top of lies, but they wanted you to do more and more and more and more for them, and didn't want to pay you or didn't want to give you, you know, be honest and full of integrity. So that thing, it just got to me. I love, like I said, I love helping the people. I loved, working with some of my coworkers. Not all of them was the best, but I still respected working with most of them. And most of them, if not all of them. Some of them really tried to get under my skin, and I knew what I was dealing with. But that's just how people are when they see and they know that you know something different. You know what you're doing. And so, like I said, I knew it was upon me. I'm not a person that's going to sit and wallow into a toxic relationship too long, whether it is a personal relationship or a business relationship. I'm just not that type of person. I will try to work it out if it's to a common goal. But for me to sit in a toxic relationship and try to let it act as if it is something when it's not, I'm not gonna have it. I'm just not. It's not healthy. It's not good. And you can't manifest. You can't bring stuff to fruition if you got all this dead and dirty energy around you. You just can't do it. And so, um, y'all, it's just the more crazies of the craziest. So, anywho, yeah, I ended up getting another job. So I was working these two jobs, and I told some people like, oh yeah, I was planning on getting a job somewhere else. I didn't tell them the exact spot because I know how people talk, okay? And sure enough, people talking, what, she ain't gonna do this, she ain't gonna do that, you know? But little did they know I was still underground, working. So I'm working these two jobs. I'm busting my butt off, doing school, doing my side hustle, and I'm getting it in, okay? I am getting it in. I'm getting it in. I have planned it to the point where, I've been feeling kind of sad and down because I don't get time to go and hang out with people, but it's helping me because it's separating me from people that I don't need to be around, people that are draining me, who are not moving anywhere. So I'm in this whole groove, and I do it for about 2 months, okay? And so recently I just got recently I just told my boss's boss, because my old boss ended up resigning from his spot, even though he was giving me all types of hell for no reason. I'm gonna show y'all some of those pictures and some of the recordings and some of the things that he did and said, because a lot of it was illegal and a little weird, but I didn't stop it because I knew it was something spiritual, okay? So I got there, um, kept it moving, kept doing what I needed to do, and it got me stronger. You can withstand some things when people try to attack you and try to be very narcissistic and be parasitic and do crazy stuff, to try to slow you down. Like, um, one time he told me that I couldn't read. Now I'm in a biblical place that's supposed to be, um, focus on, bringing the bringing Christ to people, and being told I couldn't read my Bible in front in the front, but I can go on to YouTube and I can listen to just about any kind of other demonic crap, and it's acceptable. But I couldn't read my Bible. This is the crazy stuff that I had to deal with. I also had to deal with oh, you only supposed to have, you're supposed to make at least 5 postings or recordings on the daily logs a day, but telling other people that they don't have to do that. Given having 2 titles, we had the same titles and we do 2 totally different things, getting paid 2 different total different rates. Um, I'm doing more than the other person. It's crazy. So I went through that, and I take that because I was just like, okay, I know this is spiritual. People don't understand. They think that they getting over on you, but they not. All they doing is making you stronger. Now, I'm not telling you to stay in no doggone toxic relationship, whether it is a work relationship, any kind of dynamic. I'm not telling you to do that. What I'm saying is what I was dealing with, I knew it was spiritual warfare. I knew it was getting me stronger for what was to come because, for one, I didn't ask for that job. That job was literally given to me. I walked into that job. That job, like those people called me, I walked into it. And it was, it was there. I didn't even really, I really wasn't even looking for a job, let alone a job that was in my field. And so, um, I had to do that. I had to go through that to get myself stronger and to have that confidence. Because once I kept overcoming those hurdles and going over those barriers, guess what? My old boss couldn't say nothing. He couldn't say nothing because I was always on it. I knew he was coming for me. I was always on it, and I kept working. I kept going hard. I kept working both of those doggone jobs, and not saying nothing, just stacking, building, stacking, building, building, stacking. Okay, and so um, when I got enough that I needed to get, and I knew it was time for me to move forward, I went and I told my boss, which was perfect timing because it was a time where it's a transition. A lot of things are transitioning. They're having a lot of shortages. They're doing just a lot of changes. So honestly, this is a good time because negotiations are on a table. If they really want you, negotiations are on a table. And where I'm sitting at right now is in a good place because I've been working every time to get my certifications up. I've been working every single time to get myself better. And so um, I get up and I tell them, like, I've, have another position, and, I would like to go part-time because this position is in a day, even though I have really great hours. One thing that I did, I was able to pick during the time was my hours, because I was at night, which was cool, but they wanted me to go into the day. And the things that they wanted me to go into, they knew they shouldn't even have me doing, but I went on and agreed to it anyway because I was like, it's experience, it's something that I can put on my resume, and it's gonna help me in the long run. It's gonna help me because I learned so much. I took so many classes on it, and it helped me a long way. So anywho, and as they're doing that, they're like, the people that I was talking to who knew I was working at other jobs, at another job, I didn't, like I said, I didn't tell them where I was going. I just gave them a fictitious job. I started noticing some of them, some other people coming back like, yeah, what's the name told me this, or saying the exact words that I told them, and they're like, oh, well, they said that you wasn't gonna last, or you was just playing, or you was just doing this, and it made me laugh. It made me laugh so hard that I almost started crying, and it started reminding me of the power of silence, y'all. You have no idea because you don't know who your enemies are, and an enemy and friend sometimes can turn. You can have a friend that become your enemy so quicker than sometimes your enemy become your friend, and sometimes your enemy can become your friend because they see what your so-called friend did. They see the real you. Because some people just don't like you because of what they heard. But after they see your testimony, after they see what you've been through, after they see how you went through and what you did, they have more respect for you than anything else. There's other people who know you went through a struggle, who act like they were your friend. They never liked you. They never liked you. I got people like that at work right now, and they think like people like you can't see them. No, I done been through it. You can see it. Or people who act like they really into you. They think that they want to act like they're pimps and players. I done had that too. Like Some of them act worse than a client trying to get at you. But you can't focus on that. You gotta remember what God tell you. Don't let your left hand know what your right hand doing. Don't let your right hand know what your left hand doing. Either way, don't tell everybody what's going on, because while they trying to find out what you're doing, all they doing is trying to plan and sabotage. So then they can go to the next person and try to dog you out. Another thing that I noticed is that when I told them one of the people where I was going, I got a call from these people. They like, I got a call about somebody, saying all this bad stuff about you, blah, blah, blah. I hadn't even put in an application for that place because I wasn't intending on going there. You see what I'm saying? But they were already trying to sabotage me and say all kind of crazy stuff. So you don't know what people have in their heart. You don't know what kind of jealousy people have in their heart about you. That's why it's better to not say nothing. It's better to not say anything, not to say a word. I also noticed that the boss that I had that the one that was over my old boss, who they transitioned to another position, which I already was kind of not standoffish, but I don't know, Holy Spirit just been talking to me a lot and how to move and how to go about things, and it helped me a lot. And I noticed that instead of him let's go see if it's the best fit, let's go see if this is happening or if that is happening or this or that. Instead, they're like, okay, so when is your last day? And let's see what your part-time schedule is, see if it fits our needs. And I'm sitting here like, you've never done that with anybody else before. You've never done that with anybody else before. And not only that, if I went down to part-time, there's always an opening, because we always have openings during that time where I was going, the side that I was going into. So I noticed those different shifts. I noticed the tone, and the undercurrents and things like that. I know that what I was doing, that it was making a difference. It was making a definite difference in that area. But I was still okay with it, because it's like, either way, it's not like I need the money. You know what I'm saying? It's not like I need the money. When you could take that asset away from, take that power away from people, and take that, when they don't have that power and that thing going around you, when people can take things and you still be all right, it makes a difference in how you feel and how you go about it, instead of being stressed and uptight and stuff like that. That's why it's better to just go ahead, do some things in silence, keep quiet, because had I not did them 2 months of preparation of doing the hard work, I could have just said I'm done 2 months ago, and got myself and moved on. But what did it do? Those 2 extra months of hard work, it paid off, because I had more money in my pocket. I was able to help more people, because I saw more people in different branches. It gave me more longevity at the one job that I'm leaving. It just showed me how strong I was. I got more stamina. God gave me a lot of energy to make that time happen. I don't know how, but He did. And I was ready and to get prepared for the things that, God wanted me to have. I didn't have to feel like I needed to stay. When I had that, it was very hard. Physically, I still had to work out, still had to do some things. But guess what? It helped me so much, because it showed me that I had what it took to get things done. I had what it took to, keep going, to persevere. It helped me to get very much stable. It helped me to get stable financially. And it took me out of, because I was doing so much, it took me out of those places where people are not doing anything, or people who aren't moving, or where gossip or where craziness is going. I didn't have time for it. I escaped it all, because I was so busy hustling. I had nothing but time for God, work, and work. My dogs and my family, work. That's it. So, and not only that, it swerved a lot of things. It's the power of silence. I promise you, it will help you so much. When I say it'll help you so much, it'll help you so much. When I say so much, I mean just that. So much. So yeah, that's what I wanted to share about that. Keep silent. Everybody is not for you. And some people are only for you until you get to a certain part. Because when a new level comes, they're going to be jealous of you again. Trust that. Trust and believe that. And when you see those signs, it's time to cut them off. It's time to move around. It's time to cut them off. It's time to do something to make them move around. When I say move around, I mean just that. Move the heck on around. Okay? What else? I talked about the 90-day period. I don't know if I stopped that. Because I did get them 90 days. I gave them 90 days. Just like a job give you 90 days, you need to give them 90 days. Because and 90 days, they can get rid of you at any job, you know. Or they can give you a rule and say, we want you to do this and stay longer. Well, maybe that might sound good for somebody, but what if the job ain't working for you either? Then you could just say, you know what, I'll call it quits. I'm cool. I'm straight. You know, that's how you have to be. That's how you really have to be, because you have to understand that it's not just a physical thing. Well, it is physical, but physical starts out with energetically. Like you're giving your time and your energy. Woo, you're giving your time and your energy to an organization. You know, there's so many people. Look at all these people who go to work, and I don't knock it, because you know what, this is part of our society anyway, to connect with people and to create things, okay? So it's nothing wrong with being at an organization and working for an organization and working hard 20, 30, 40 years at something to grow and develop something. You have to have time. In order for something to grow, it takes time. It takes physical endurance, and it takes time. So it's nothing wrong with that. But what I'm saying is, look at the people who don't put in all this time for places, and guess what? They don't get nowhere, or they only treat them. They try to kick them out the door after 30 years, as if their service didn't mean anything. And I'm not talking about the people who should have been kicked out when they done did some crazy stuff. What about when you work so hard, but then they just close their doors and turn? You can't live. We don't live in that kind of world no more. People want to think that we do, but we don't live in that kind of world where you even at a good company on a good day, to live and to just work at a company for 20, 30 years is going to be unheard of. It's going to be unheard of now, you know. So you have to understand that. You have to be wise. So you got to be wise in what you're doing. These people come from, I don't know. Yeah, you got to be wise in what you're doing. Wise in your decisions. Wise in your endeavors, especially when you're doing stuff to better yourself, and not only that, stuff to serve God. As soon as you put God on it, just understand you about to have attacks. I ain't saying that you're not gonna be able to overcome them. You're gonna have attacks, and you need to be ready for them. You need to be ready for them, and you need to be ready for that smoke. So, yeah, keep your mouth shut. Don't tell people what you're doing. Get yourself prepared, especially if you're in a toxic environment. Get yourself prepared to the point where when it is time for you to move and when it's time for you to do things, you're able to do it. Don't stand in fear. Don't stand in stagnation. I don't know why I couldn't talk right now. Just keep going. And if you do, that's okay. If you do get stagnant, if you do get frustrated, that's okay. Pick yourself up and try again. But just keep things to yourself. Keep things to yourself. Hopefully this helps you. Hopefully something I said or done will help you on your journey. Please stay tuned to Journey to Jerusalem. Bye.